Hey, everyone. I'm live in my living room. So it's October the 20th, man. And I am so glad that I'm here on this planet. How about you guys? So I'm gonna wait around till some people gets in here. All right. There's Denny Baker. By God, she's gonna be here. I love it. Hey, good looking thing. Um, so welcome everyone. Francis Nelson. Hey, good evening. Good evening to you. All right, yeah, we got some people piling into this joint. All right, good. Um, so I've got big news today. Tina, what's up? Ray. All right. And Ray, yeah, you're good looking too. I love it. That's great. But I got big news today. My single came out today. I always tell everyone when I start talking about my single and stuff. It's like things have changed so much over the years when it comes to releasing singles. It's not like it used to be, where you kind of release it to radio, right? And you just kind of wait to hear it on the radio. These days, that doesn't happen too much when you're not signed to a major label. I'm doing everything independently. I do it all by myself. And it feels good. There's this cool satisfaction with that. But the new single is called "Let's Go Before We're Gone." And hopefully you guys dig it. You can get it on all of the streaming platforms: Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Title, all those places, right? What's up, Shelly? Barb, what are you doing? It's time for us to get together and have some more Skyline chili, right? Normally, I don't have the big beard happening, but I tell you what happened. Basically, I went out west with my son to the redwoods, right? And I think I told you guys about this the last live that I did. We went out to the redwoods, we went to Crater Lake and everything, and it's snowing in Oregon, right? So I went out there and I'm thinking, well, man, I need a beard. By God, feel like a logger out in this joint, right? So I got back home. Look at that, man. I don't care. I don't care nothing about it, right? So I'm just gonna keep on growing. Um, Ray, so thank you so much about the new single. And yes, it is Willie inspired. Listen, I have been such a fan of Willie all of my life. I think probably my three biggest inspirations. What you know what? Actually, I'd probably have to say four influencers. One would be Willie. Two would be Tom Petty. Three would be Prince, and four would be Elvis Presley. Right, and I'd probably have to throw in Jerry Lee Lewis just because I love Jerry Lee Lewis. But so yes, you do hear some Willie in there for sure. I uh, I love Willie's simplicity. Uh, I just got done reading his book, and boy, what an incredible book that was. I didn't know that Willie was such a hustler, man. Willie's like a used car salesman, but in a really cool way. He's got this way of kind of selling himself, man. He believes in his art, and he goes out there and gets it done, man. And I just think that that's so cool. And he does all of these wonderful things, as you guys know, with Farm Aid, and he it started off, all of his Farm Aid stuff or whatever started off with just a picnic, right, where he'd get all of his family and friends together, whatever, and play music. That turned into Farm Aid, and now he's doing all kinds of really cool stuff, So I just think Willie's cool, and so yeah, you will definitely hear some Willie with this new single. So I hope you guys dig it. You guys dig it, right? Give me some feedback. Let me know. Um, but all right. So the other thing that you guys have probably seen here on YouTube, you dig it? All right, Gene. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Um, but the other things that you guys might have seen is my brand new lyric videos for an old project that I had. Thank you, Tina. I appreciate it. Called Playtime. And this record's been sitting around, gosh, since 2008 or 9, something like that. And I tell you, I think, it was signed to this little label. I'll tell you just a little bit. Man, my hands look really big, right? So I'll tell you, golly, man. So I'll tell you a little bit about that record. Uh First of all, it was a joy to make. It was so cool. It was a lot of these songs that was kind of left over from the Hot Apple Pie days, right? So I was still in this really kind of funky kind of place. Uh, Denny was telling me today that she was hearing some funk and R&B and that stuff, like on Bubba's Pimpin' Ride, and for sure, there's no question about it. And if you'll look on the credits, you'll see Hot Apple Pie featured in 3 or 4 or 5 of those songs. And of course, Keith Horn and his bass playing is so recognizable, and and so is his voice too. So when he sings with me, immediately it sounds like Hot Apple Pie. So but I went back and I thought, you know what? I need to revisit this record and put it up there for people to hear, because I'll tell you this little inside scoop thing as well. So if you guys remember, I put out Farm Boy, I guess it was earlier this year, right? Something like that. But I put out Farm Boy because this record company that I was working with loved it so much. They were like, "Man, what a cool song. We got to put it out," and so on and so forth. And I was like, "Yeah, but that's on another record." And they said, "We don't care, man. We want to release this thing." So I went and I talked to the people who owned Playtime, because I don't own the masters of that record. And I talked to them and I said, "Man, they just love this song." And he said, "Well, listen, just buy the master of that song." So that's what I did. So so that's why you heard Farm Boy earlier this year, you know? And but in the process of that, the new record company didn't want Playtime on Spotify to kind of go like neck to neck with Farm Boy. You understand what I'm saying? So if Farm Boy was on that old record, that whole record needed to be taken down. So that's what happened. So I thought, by God, people need to be able to access this stuff, and not only just access it, but check out the lyrics, know who's doing what. So I did it myself. I just put it up there, and now you guys have access to it all the time. Bam. All right. So that's the story. Um, hey, Brady, love your music from Boonville, Kentucky. Yes. I said the last time I was on here that I just love Kentucky, man. And I do. A lot of my family lives there. And every time I go through there, I just kind of feel like it's my second home. I just love Kentucky. So welcome, Connie. Sure appreciate it. And so yeah, I mean, this was a little impromptu kind of meeting with you guys, and you know, I really like I've told you guys before, I really need to do this YouTube thing a little bit more, and so I figured I would. All right. So that's really all it is. Anybody got any questions before I let you guys go tonight? I know it's Friday and you guys got to rock and roll this weekend, so I don't want to hold you up. But anybody got any questions or anything like that? Tina, are you going to come out and see the Petty Junkies in I think it's November in Cookville? I think it's Cookville, right? I'm sure you'll be there, right? Are you feeling better? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing good. Tina's had a little bout with some sickness and stuff, so hopefully she's doing good. So hopefully you will be. Um, ain't nobody saying nothing. Are y'all there? Y'all just okay. Yeah, okay. Yes, I have front row seats. See, come on. Can't keep a good woman down, right? There's Denny Baker. All right. Cindy, when will Seals and Crofts 2 EP come out? Man, that's a good question. Well, here's what I think. I think that Seals and Crofts 2 will release a single or two first. And we were going to do that, and then there was some executive record stuff that went down that didn't quite let us, release something. But even if I have to do it myself, I'll do it myself. And soon is the answer, right? Very, very soon. Um, my baby wants to know what's your favorite song on Playtime. Wow, I've got three favorite songs on Playtime. One is Everybody Smokes in Hell, just because it's so freaking weird. Um, so that's that. It's so cool. Me and Bobby Terry and Kevin Ray, who was the guitar player who replaced Sparky in Hot Apple Pie, all three of us got together and wrote that song and had so much fun doing it. And Bobby back then was like a chain smoker, right? So he's like front and center, man. He's over there just drawing on that cigarette, man. And we're like, dude, we got to write this song. So we did. So that's one of my favorites, and I think my other two favorites is Farmer Brown, which Farmer Brown is actually a person that I know. It's like an alias. I'm not going to give away the name, but I know Farmer Brown very well, and he's a real character. And so it was fun writing that song. And then lastly, I would have to say Trucker Song. And the reason why I say Trucker Song is because I had so much fun in the studio with Stan Lynch. Stan Lynch is the original drummer for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, right? So Stan and I become really, really good friends. And he come to Nashville and we wrote songs for like a week. And it was so cool because at the very end of our writing, he said, "Man, let's go in and record it." I said, "Like how? What you mean?" He said, "What? Let's call some players, man, and let's go and rock and roll." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's go," So I loved his tenacity, man. He was like, "Let's go." I was like, "Well, man, you ain't got no drums." He said, "I'll rent some." I was like, "Okay, let's do it." So we went into this little place in Nashville. It's not a working studio anymore, called 16 Ton Recording Studio. And it's me, Bobby Terry, who's an incredible player. He played guitar and bass on that thing, and Stan Lynch, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm literally playing in the studio with one of the Heartbreakers right now. And he and I wrote Trucker Song together. And so that would have to be my other favorite song on there. So there you go. All right. So I am in Florida, skyline when I get home. Yes, got to get some skyline. When am I coming back to Florida? Let me see here. I'm trying to book something at a place called Summer Crush Vineyard, and I don't know exactly where that is, but it is in Florida. So I'm trying to get that up and rocking. You can just go to bradyseals.com and do the tour thing, and it'll let you know when I'm going to be there. Um, and let me see. And yes, feeling better. Thank the Lord, Tina. Thank you. I know who it is. Yes. Um, Sandy Powell. Hey, what's up, Sandy? Gene. Great. Yeah, absolutely. So who really wrote what might have been? Who did the heavy lifting? Okay, well that you know what? That's a good question. Um, I'll tell you, it was truly a joint effort. Almost all of the melody was Porter. All of the guitar, stuff and the C minor and all of that kind of stuff. That's all Porter. Take no credit whatsoever. And early on, Porter and Dwayne O'Brien were the main writers in Little Texas. So I think that it kind of was like it might have been O'Brien's idea, to tell you the truth about it. And so those two kind of started the song, and then I came in with my story, and my story was, I had this high school love, and once I started kind of telling my story or whatever, we started just going round and round with all of the different kinds of emotions and feelings that goes along with having that what might have been in your life. So it really was a joint effort in the end. But i but truly, I would have to say that the majority of it was Porter, just simply because it was Porter's melody. There you go. So California needs a Brady visit. Heck yeah. Well, listen, I was just out there, Sean. I was out there vacationing, and we went to the Redwoods and Crescent City, and that was so good. Now, listen, I am coming back out there. Where am I coming to? I think it's a private party, though. I'm coming back out there in December, flying out there. Me and Lua are going to do a show out there. So I'm sorry, but hopefully soon, right? Come to the Carson Center in Paducah, Kentucky. Would love to. Do you know anybody there? Tell them to call us. We would love to play it. That sounds great. So absolutely. So well, great questions, you guys. Who's going to be in the World Series? Oh my gosh, that was literally out of left field. But anyway, I have no idea. Listen, as you guys know, or some of you may know, I used to play ball in high school. I mean, it was all that was on my mind, and I think that if I hadn't have gone into the music business, I would have been a pitcher. I loved baseball. But whenever I kind of got out of it, I kind of stayed out of it. I don't know why. I really don't. I almost felt like dadgummit, I was like, "Oh, man," I'm not gonna have my shot to go to the big show. So I don't really keep up with it much. Somebody told me, yesterday, it was my friend Jay Hall. He said, "Hey, man, did you see the World Series?" I said, "No." And he said, "It's the Astros and the Texas Rangers playing." I said, "Whoa, that's killer." And he says, "No, man." He said, "God bless Texas." They played God bless Texas before the game. I was like, "What?" That was so cool, right? They played one of my songs for the World Series. That's so awesome. So but I just don't keep up with it that much, unfortunately. Um are we having Sunday blessing? You know what? I'm going to try to. I'm going to really try to do that and do it on here, by the way. I'm really trying to kind of like be in more homes and more places with YouTube. So yes, I really love your vocal style on Another You, Another Me. Thank you. Have you considered using that style for all of your ballads? What might have been in My Love especially come to mind? You know, of course, I mean, like when I do my live shows and stuff like that, I still, hopefully, I still perform them as like I did. Um, it's all in finding the character of the lyrics, like and like the lyrics and the melody and the style that's in. Um, and if I'm in that place, then absolutely, I'll sing it in that place. Um, singing like Willie on "There Will Never Be Another You and Me." I don't know if that's gonna work or not. So, but yes, I hear you, and that's certainly my go-to, when writing ballads. But there's other places as well. I like to experiment. I like to explore. As a writer and someone who's creative, I really, really love to kind of stretch out there sometimes and not kind of put myself in this little place, if you will. Um, what's up? Hope you're doing good too. What's your favorite song you have ever recorded? Oh my gosh, Denny Baker. My favorite song that I've ever recorded. You know, I would have to say the one that I kinda like, yeah, man, I think that we nailed that, would be a song that Hot Apple Pie did on their record called California King. Um, it's a semi-true story. I went out to California to try to, you know, excuse me, I've had allergies, y'all. It's been crazy. But we went out to California, or I went out to California to try to, fit in there, and I just couldn't do it, man. The traffic. Oh my gosh, man, the traffic was just insane. And if anybody knows me, I am not one to stand in line for anything. I'm serious, man. I mean, they might be giving out gold bars, and I won't stand in line for it. I can't do it. So California was hard for me with traffic. So that song was very real for me, and I think that we nailed the feeling. So you guys check out California King if you can. Heavy hitter question here. Okay. What's it going to take to get you and Dwayne Probst together in a room for a beer together? Listen, I'm all up for hanging out with Probst, man. Set it up. Let's go. I got no problem with that whatsoever. It'd be good to see him. Hi from southeastern Kentucky. Hello there. You ain't going to the Willy Wonka factory. Do you have a preference between writing and performing, or can you compare them? Gosh, man, that's a good one. I would have to say, if I had my druthers, it would be songwriting. Now I love to perform, and that's wonderful. It's great to see everybody and get on the stage. There's magic that happens on the stage. Don't get me wrong. However, there's something really cool about waking up in the morning, having my coffee, and my brain starts going, man. And I'm like, okay, you know, I've I got to get into this place, and there's this sense of like um, journey, like I'm going somewhere, in my brain when I sit down and write. Now, I don't write all the time. My fiance Denny, she asked me sometimes. She'll say, why don't you write more? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of hits me when it hits me. I can't rush it very much. I mean, yeah, I can do the 9 to 5 songwriter thing. I've done it before, but nothing really comes out great in those kinds of writing sessions. So I would have to say writing. I just love it. I love the process of it. Um, did you write Easy Does It? No, I did not. I wish to God I did, man. What a great song. My cousin TJ um, and Andrew Dorf wrote that song, man. And TJ played me that song, and I was like, dude, that's a great freaking song, man. Just the whole the don't don't don't. I mean, that's just so good, man. Yes, it is a great song. It really, really is. And I need to start doing that in my live show again. Several people have asked me, man, when you gonna play Easy Does It? So it's time to slip it back in there. All right. So man, you guys got some good questions tonight. Keyboard or guitar? They're both two different tools for me. Keyboard, I'm able to get into my ballad place a little bit more, like what you were talking about, that Another You, Another Me, My Love, Easy Does It, I Fell kind of place. Best Is Yet to Come, all that kind of stuff comes when I start playing piano when I'm writing. When I'm playing guitar, it's more like California King, or even um, Amy's Back in Austin. It's more of a strumming kind of thing, or even like a chunk rock and roll, like fun little crazy things like God Bless Texas or something like that. That's going to come with guitar. So I think that they both have their strengths and weaknesses for me anyway. Good questions, you guys. Good questions. Do you still ride motorcycles? Well, yeah, but I don't have one right now. I've had 3 or 4 throughout the years. They've all been Harleys, but I've been looking at a Triumph. Been looking at one, man. I think I think that might be my next one, just because it's kind of little, man. It. I don't. I've always rode the big hogs in the past. I've always had soft tails. Um, not full dressed or anything like that, but like big old bikes, and that's good and all. But I think that as I'm getting a little bit older, you know, I just want something a little bit more spry, man. To where I can get on that thing and rip it down there to Burger King. so but I love motorcycles, man. I love motorcycles. I'm thankful that I haven't been hurt on one. Barb is in here. Her son Greg and I were hanging out a lot back in the day. Yeah, I know. There she is. Don't do it. Too dangerous. I know. I know. Barb will tell you. I was literally riding behind Greg. I don't know if I told you this whole story, Barb, but we were coming down Old Hickory Boulevard, and I was behind Greg, and this lady just pulls out and side swipes Greg, and Greg's just and he comes off the bike, hits the pavement, rolls on the pavement, and his bike is going boom, bam, 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 just like that. And I'm just it was all in my brain. It happened so fast, but it was in slow motion at the same time. And when I saw it all happen, now I had a big old white Softail that I had bought, and I pulled it over on the side of the road, and I didn't even put the kickstand down. I just laid it down in the gravel to get to Greg, to make sure he was okay. I thought I thought it was really, really bad. Now it was bad enough where I think he broke his leg, and there was some stuff that went down. with Greg, and thank God he was okay in the end, but it can go bad really, really quick. So, yes, I had a Kawasaki Ninja for about a year. Then I decided I valued my life. Amen. Right? Yep. He had to sit down and play. I do remember that. I do. But I remember when I ran over to him, uh, I literally had to stop the traffic coming from the other way because he was literally in the other lane, just sitting there in on like on the asphalt, and I'm like, Greg, you okay, man? Man, I don't know. That's the way he sounds, man. Man, I don't know, man. I think I hurt my leg, and I was like, oh, dude, just let it just sit here, man. So thank God he was okay. So, but no, for me these days, Barb, you know what I'm talking about. Is that Greg or what? Man, I don't know. And listen, when I'm out on the road, I don't know if I told you this either, Barb, but my go-to person to imitate is always Greg. And because Greg, he's got that voice, man. And when you first meet him, man, he's just really like that, man. You don't know that there's anything going on at all, man. He's pretty chill. But then he starts talking about the guitars, man. And he starts talking about Alan Holdsworth and Eric Johnson, man, and his voice goes up like that, man, and he gets all excited, man. And he gets he just gets wound up, man. So it's so good, man. Greg is the dude, man. So am I right? Right? Somebody said, "Oh my word." That's Greg, man. I'm telling you. Man, we were out in we were out on the road. First time that Greg had ever been out west. Now again, Greg and I go way back when I was 15 years old, right? He come over and he played guitar and I played piano. So he come in, and we started playing music together. So when I got my first job out on the road, the guitar player uh, quit or got fired or something. And I said, "Hey, I know somebody. We need to call Greg." So Greg comes out. Now Greg is a rock and roll player, but he's learning country stuff, right? So he's totally green. I kind of am too. I'd only been out on the road like maybe 6 months before him or something. So we're driving out west, and we have this driver up there, whatever, and he's driving, and I think it was Coma. It was Coma's our bus driver, and Greg's in the back, and he goes, "Stop the bus! Stop the bus!" And Coma's freaked out, man. He slams on the brakes and he pulls over. He pulls over, man, and he's like that. And Greg comes up front. He goes, "Man, you gotta let me out of the bus, man. I just saw a cactus." And we're looking around and there's like thousands of cactuses, right? Cacti all around the place or whatever. And Coma was like, um, "Hey man, I think that there's 1,000 cactuses out there, man. You about made me have a wreck, whatever." So Greg was crazy, man. Man, I saw I saw a cactus. So anyway, but that's it for me tonight, y'all. I've had fun being on here with you guys, and but like I said, today is my single, man. Go get my single. It's on all Spotify and all of those places, all the streaming platforms. You can go get it today. Please let me know and subscribe here on YouTube for me. my watch hours and all that kind of stuff really, really helps me, right? It really does. So I really appreciate you guys supporting me and my habit. Right? So thank you guys so much. It was fun with you too, Gene. Thank you so much. Barb, it's great to see you. Tell Greg I said hello. And you guys take care and I'll talk to you later. All right. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.